Danny Flexon here for Seconds Out with Unbeaten 5-0, Shannon Courtenay. 5 fights within a year, less than a year. In fact, you made your debut back in March. Did you expect to be out as often as you were?
5 fights in 9 months is quite a lot, but I knew I was going to have a busy year. They told me I was going to have a busy year, so I was happy with it. But when you think about it, that sounds like a lot of fights nowadays. Years ago, that wasn't a lot of fights at all in 9 months. So I'm not going to sit and moan because I wanted to be active, and I am active, and I'm learning on the job. So it's worked out quite well for me.
I mean, in the female side of the sport, there's obviously nowhere near as many active pros as there are in the male side. So is that a slight concern in that you're fighting active, you're fighting regularly, which is great, but you're going to be moved a bit quicker just by virtue of there not being as many steps to climb? Yeah,
there's a massive depth between like one level to world title basically. So that's why we're starting to get in really good sparring in, so that when I am at that level, I've got the sparring, because I might not necessarily get it in actual fights because there's a massive gap. So every fight's been a step up, but every fight I'll perform better as well. So I think this year we're gonna definitely see me step up a lot, and hopefully the better opponents bring out the better me, which I'm sure they will, because they always do.
Where do you manage to source that sparring from? And is it predominantly female or is it mostly male? How does it work?
My last camp, it was all female. Before that we had mixed. Before that it was basically all men. It's changing every time. It's kind of, we're doing it to adapt to what I'm working on and what I'm learning to do differently, and because my style is developing now and I'm learning more. So, but it's whatever's around really, whatever like the best fun we can get, obviously. So yeah, if I have to travel, I have to travel, but that's what it is.
Accepted wisdom says you should never ask a woman about her weight, but I'm going to break that rule and ask you, earlier in your career you were just over bantam, more recently you've been around super bantam for the majority. Where do you see when you're finally at that level where you want to challenge for championships, where do you see that being?
I'd like to say bantam, but then it's down to my team, because they might say no, we actually prefer you at super bantam, because as you can see from previous fights I hit a lot harder super bantam. So I don't know, it's my body's changing a lot, we're doing a lot of weights, that's why I'm hitting a lot harder now, I'm building a lot more as well, so it's whatever my team's comfortable with me doing, but yeah, I leave it down to them.
It's only 4 pounds, but do you actually feel the difference within yourself when you're in the ring or at the weigh-in or whatever in terms of those 122 to 118?
Yeah, you do feel a massive difference, especially in your power and fighting out, you feel a huge difference. You just, I don't know, you just feel bigger there, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Do you know what I mean? You do feel a big difference though, especially in your power, and the snap in the shots definitely feel different.
In terms of progressing, you've talked about how you're going to progress in sparring, but in terms of actually in the ring, are you someone that kind of sits and looks on Box Rec and thinks, yeah, that's someone to be good for my next fight or in a couple of fights' time? No, not at all.
No, I don't really ask who I'm fighting either. I normally ask or get told who I'm fighting the day before the weigh-in. Because at the moment I haven't got to sit there and study anyone. When I'm fighting for titles, then I'll be studying the opponents and I will know more about them. But because there's not much around for women at the moment, and the depth of talent's not there, there's not much footage neither. So it's hard to gauge. So I'd rather at the moment let them worry about me, and then when I step up, I'll start studying my opponents. And right now, my main priority is to focus on myself and just know that I'm doing what I can do best in myself. And then, yeah, so I don't tend to ask at all.
It's obviously an Olympic year. I think after the Olympics are done in the summer, we're going to see a lot of those, both male and female reps turning pro. Are you kind of glad? Nice. Mick Conlon's having a bit of a rant in the background. Hopefully not about anything we're saying. Yeah, as you do in this gym. But yeah, this Olympic year, a lot of them are going to turn over after the games have finished. Are you glad in a way that you got a head start and that your profile's building well before that happens?
Massively happy. But to be honest, my style's much more suited to the pro ranks and the amateur ranks anyway, so I believe personally I made the right decision to go turn professional early like I did. And yeah, I have got a head start. By the time they've actually done the Olympics, turn pro, I'll probably be winning titles or on like 8, 9 and 0 by then, hopefully. So yeah, I think I've definitely given myself a good head start, and I'm very glad with the decision I made.
I know when I've interviewed you in the past, there's been a lot of things on social media where people focusing on things aside from boxing, which hasn't always been great for you, particularly in the direct messages I know you've told me about before. But as you've grown in prominence on Sky Sports, all your fights have been televised. Do you feel that's starting to change now? Are you getting a lot more recognition for what you do inside the ring?
Yeah, a lot more recognition now, because before it was not so much about the boxing. Now people can see, especially after my last performance, people see actually she can hit a little bit. she can fight, like she's entertained, so I'm getting more, I'd say more respect nowadays on social. Not that I deserve respect, I'm just saying people quite often could be quite crude and, you know, not very...
You deserve to be judged as an athlete rather than as a, you know...
Like I said, I would rather you treat me, talk to me, message me because I'm a boxer, not because I'm a female in a man's world. Do you know what I mean? So now I'm getting treated as a female athlete and a boxer, and it's much appreciated. You still get the odd one, don't get me wrong, of course you do, but no, yeah, it's much. I don't cringe as much, I don't panic about when I see like, oh, you've got 180 messages, oh, what's it going to be?
Now you've got more, but the majority are like, some you can show to your mum.
They're the nicer ones that are like, oh, really big fan, because you and my daughter got into boxing, or when you next out, we want to call me love in your journey, and things like that, they make a big difference to your day.
Spoke to you before, you just signed a modelling contract. How's that side of things been going, and how easy has it been to balance with your boxing work?
Yeah, it's good. I think like my next shoot's next Thursday, and it's my day off, so it fits in perfect. But like, obviously, like last night I was at a movie premiere, but I make sure that I get out on time so that I'm home in bed by a sensible time, so I'm back in the gym in the morning, so I don't let it affect my training. I was meant to be there at a certain time last night to do interviews, but I got there an hour and a half late because I said I'm not missing out on my second session. No, I told them I will be there this time because I'm not going to miss out on training. And I've said that to every single of the contracts I do, everything, modelling, TV, anything, boxing does and will always come first. So as long as my training's done, then that can come after. As long as it doesn't affect me in any way, then yeah.
But do you allow yourself to enjoy it at least a little bit, especially things like film premieres?
Yeah, of course, it's nice to meet new people, you have fun, it's nice to be around people that aren't necessarily in boxing, because you're surrounded constantly by men and the sound of pads. So it's nice to be out, do your hair and makeup, wear nice dresses, do you know what I mean, be around women, it's nice. Yeah, I do enjoy that side of it as well, and it's, you know, not many boxers get to do that because I'm a woman, and we're not as many of us in the sport. Obviously, I think I stand out a little bit more, so I get them opportunities, which is good because it's another part of my career that I can explore, another way for me to branch out and get a bigger name and become a bigger brand myself. And
I know you're not going to tell us exactly when you're next out, but is it going to be the first kind of 3 months of the year?
What month are we in now? February?
Well, the first 3 months of the year, so by the end of March, basically.
Close, but no. That's 4 months, I say.
And without knowing who the opponent is specifically, what sort of, like, how many rounds is it going to be? Is it going to be a step up? What can we expect?
I don't know yet. That's down to boss man Adam, but I am hoping for an 8-rounder, because if it's an 8-rounder, then that means sooner or later I'll get stepped up to 10-rounder, which means titles. But all in, you know, I'm still learning. I'm still obviously still got so much to learn. So all in good time. I trust Adam and Charlie with my life, and they'll guide me correctly, and they know what I'm ready for and what I'm not. So whatever they say goes, and I'm happy with that, because I still know I've got a lot to learn, but I'm learning on the job.
I'm sure the vast majority of people watching this will already know your social media handles, but just in case they don't, just remind us of what they are so people can follow you, if you know them.
I don't even know. I think my Instagram is just Shannon Courtenay, or Shannon_Courtenay, and Twitter's S Courtenay. That's bad, isn't it? I don't even know.
It is a little bit, but if people just search Shannon Courtenay, spelled COURTENAY, yes, not a stalker, not a stalker. No, but if people just search for that on Instagram or Twitter, I'm sure they'll find you.
Find me, yeah. There's a couple of fake accounts flying around of me, but I know it's ridiculous. But no, you'll see the real one is me. So yeah.
All right. Well, we wish you the very best luck. We can't wait to see you back out.